Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello, and welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast hosted by a man who suddenly gets reggae and is going to make it his wife's problem.
Oh, no.
Today,
I wondered what that was.
Today we're talking about Vigilante shit from Taylor's latest original album, Midnights.
Ah.
And first things first, we have some poll results for you. Mr. Perfectly Fine, the people voted in our polls, and it got a 9, which seems high, but people like what they like.
Yeah.
That's how democracy works.
I think that's fine. I think it's probably on people's minds right now.
Yeah, because of
on.
the divorce.
Yeah. I feel like people are really listening to it, and they're like, dang, this is a good song, because he's a piece of shit.
Friend of the pod, Christy, asked me this week if we had chosen to do Mr. Perfectly Fine because of...
No, it just happened that way.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yep. Although we haven't messed with the order. It's just a random generated order.
That's right.
And we haven't touched it.
We have followed it to the letter because we have something called integrity.
We've talked about changing it, but we never have.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we reserve the right to, because it's our podcast and we can do what we want. Also, you won't even know unless we tell you. So.
That's true. Which we wouldn't.
All right. Let's get into the news.
Oh, I'm so ready.
News from around the Taylorverse. Kelsey Gate continues to...
Welcome to Clown Corner, everyone.
To sweep the nation. Yes, we won't be having a true formal Clown Corner this week. Spoilers, but we are going to get into some rumors and all of that.
I think talking about Travis Kelce is enough.
What we do know is that Taylor attended last week's game for the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City against the Chicago Bears. And we also know that she was decked out in full Chiefs regalia.
Well, you say full, but in reality, she was wearing black denim shorts and a white tank top. And then she had a Chiefs jacket on.
And matching shoes.
Well, yeah, but they weren't like Chiefs shoes. They were just red and white.
Red and white, yeah.
But, if you recall last week, we talked about 1989 having a sister album that was black and white, and it's a feature album, and how she's been going back and forth between blue 1989 outfits and black and white outfits, and how that's pointing towards a second album.
Right.
We got Travis in a suit before the game that was literally called 1989, like in the name of the outfit. And then she was in black and white. So,
indeed.
Needs to be noted.
She was also in Travis's family box with his mother and some other family members and friends. She was also extremely hyped when Travis scored his touchdown that he got banged on the window of the box and yelled, "Let's fucking go."
She also did a chest bump with one of Travis's buddies or whatever.
Or whomever. Some guy.
Yeah.
Yep. The hype was real.
It was really funny, though, to watch that.
And then after the game, the pair walked out of the tunnel together, hopped into Travis's convertible, and went to dinner at a fancy restaurant in KC, where they were later joined by Travis's family and other Kansas City Chiefs players.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have this in here, but there's been kind of some back and forth on whether or not Travis bought out the restaurant, or Taylor bought out the restaurant, or they both bought out the restaurant together. Either way, the restaurant was cleared out.
Yep, people had to get the hell out. They got compensated for their trouble, for their time, but
whoever it be by,
they did get the boot. An eyewitness from the evening said that Travis bought out the restaurant for his family and his team. Taylor arrived wearing a denim dress and was seen. Yes, denim is blue, usually. And Taylor was also seen snacking, having some cocktails, and dancing alongside Travis. The two were very affectionate with one another, but kept things fun and lighthearted. Travis's teammates also showed up to the after party, as well as his mom, Donna Kelsey, and the party lasted until 2 a.m.
You just love to see her living her best life, you know?
Yeah. Whatever's happening, it seems like she's having fun, and Travis is having fun, so that's...
I really feel like...
stuff.
I've seen a lot of talk about how, like, it's kind of becoming obvious, just based off of, like, habits and body language, that Joe was very much like, I don't want anybody to see us. I don't want to stop to talk to anybody. I want everything to be secret and quiet and not in the public eye, and you can't go out and have fun. I want you just like with me all the time. And now she's just having the best time.
Yep, Travis is letting the diamond shine.
Mm-hmm.
An anonymous source said, quote, Travis has never shied away from his desire to give dating with Taylor a try, which he even said during a press conference a few months ago after seeing Taylor in concert. Travis and Taylor are taking things slowly and not rushing into anything serious. Both are very career-focused, so the focus is on that for now. But that's not going to stop them enjoying life when it's the right moment. So they're taking it slow.
Yeah. I will also say from this little after party, TMZ got some leaked photos of them hanging out. And it's nothing like scandalous, but she is sitting in his lap with like his arm or her arm around him. And he's like looking down, like laughing in the picture. And she's kind of like, her face is really close to his head.
Where are her feet? Because as we know, foot placement with regard to laps says a lot about a relationship.
Okay, well, if her ass is in his lap, her feet also can't be in his lap.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I'd have to do some testing. But in the meantime, Patriots head coach and avowed Swiftie, Mr. Bill Belichick, said, quote, I would say that Travis Kelce has had a lot of big catches in his career. This would be the biggest. When asked about the rumors of him dating Taylor.
Agreed.
Chiefs coach Andy Reid, a walrus turned into a human by a witch. He has a glorious mustache. Google him if you don't know what he looks like. Took credit for setting up Travis and Taylor at the end of his post-game press conference, and then he turned and walked away without taking any questions.
That was very funny.
So he's also having a good time.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I know Taylor. I set him up. Bye.
And Travis and the Kansas City Chiefs are benefiting financially from the rumors and goings-on. Travis Kelce's personalized jersey sales went up 400% since Taylor appeared at the game. But someone's not having fun, or someone's trying to spoil the fun, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce's ex, Maya Benberry, has officially put out a warning to Taylor that she shouldn't date Travis because, quote, once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that a position you subscribe to?
I mean, cheating is frowned upon, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But I do believe that this is the woman that Travis met on his little one-off dating show that he did. And those relationships never last anyway. How real they are to begin with is a big question mark. I am more curious to hear what his most recent ex-girlfriend, whose name is Kayla something, what her opinion is on him as a boyfriend, rather than this person who was, I believe, not with him for very long.
Sure. I will say that absolutes are not good to think in, because, you know, life is a lot more nuanced than that. But I do think if you were able to find an excuse to cheat on one partner, you can probably find one to cheat on your next one. So it is concerning to me.
I do think if you don't actively try to, if you don't acknowledge the issue and actively try to correct it. So like if you cheat on somebody and then you don't take responsibility for it and you just continue to allow yourself to act upon those toxic traits.
Certainly, yeah. Circumstances have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I think then once a cheater, always a cheater can come into play. if you refuse to do any work on yourself.
Indeed. Well, we got some quotes from the New Heights podcast that Travis does with his brother Jason. He said, quote, Travis did, "I'm enjoying life, and I sure as hell enjoyed this weekend," was his general take on the situation. He was then asked about what it was like to have Taylor in his suite with his mom. And he said, quote, "Shout out to Taylor for pulling up. That was pretty ballsy."
Taylor is, as we all know, ballsy.
He also said, "I just thought it was awesome how everybody in the suite had nothing but great things to say about her. The friends and family. She looked amazing, and everybody was talking about her in a great light. To see the slow motion chest bumps, to see the high fives with mom, to see how, Chiefs Kingdom was all excited that she was there. It was absolutely hysterical, and it was definitely a game I'll remember, that's for damn sure." And then we just slid off in the getaway car at the end.
Rep Easter egg.
That's right. Took my Chevelle to the game. Shout out to Taylor for coming through and seeing me rock the stage. Jason then said, "You gotta shoot your shot." And Travis said, "Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, baby." And then Jason asked how much the fans could expect to know about their relationship going forward. And Travis said, "It's my personal life, and I want to respect both of our lives." So maybe he'll quiet down, but it doesn't seem like it, because since then, things keep happening.
Well, things keep happening, but I will say that things keep happening that prove that he is, very excited about this situation.
Yes.
But he's not throwing her name around. At this point, everybody knows who it is in reference to. He's not the one throwing her name around. He's not trying to use her for publicity. He's just playing with what's already there.
Indeed.
And there's a little bit more to that last quote. We don't have to talk about all of it, but I think it is something to note that on the podcast he said that, and this is not a direct quote, again, I'm pulling it off the top of my head, but he said something to the tune of, she doesn't like media interference in her life as much as I do. With having the podcast and going on talk shows and stuff all the time for football, he welcomes the media's speculation into his life. He welcomes that attention, and he recognizes that she doesn't want that necessarily because she's had so many struggles with it. And before he said, "It's my personal life and I want to respect both of us," he said, "I think I'm going to just have to keep it to talking about football and saying, all right now," and something like that. But yeah, he basically said, "We've had our fun. Now I'm really not going to talk about it anymore."
He did say that. And then Dallas Mavericks owner, Mr. Mark Cuban, for those who do not know, the Mavericks are a basketball team in the NBA. He tweeted at Taylor and told her to dump Travis and get with one of his Mavericks players because got a lot of hot single dudes on the team. And Travis then responded and said, "Sign me to a 10-day contract," which is the lowest allowed by the NBA, so that Cuban could claim he was a player on his team. So, yeah. Fun.
Yes. That is Travis making light of it and being like, instead of trying to steal my girlfriend, how about I keep my girlfriend and we find out a different solution.
That's right.
So I kind of like the playful, backup of her. But I think that the statement in the beginning is disgusting. Because all Mark Cuban's whole joke is that you should date a Mavericks player because I need that money that the Chiefs are getting. She's not an object. She's a human being.
Right.
You don't get to just toss her around from boy to boy so that your team makes money. The Chiefs are getting the benefit of Taylor Swift being around. Too bad, so sad. Yep. Don't be gross about it.
Yep. Mark Cuban, this is not the first time he's
No, he gives big sleazeball energy.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dirtbag.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think that Travis handled it well by being like, haha, sign me to a 10-day instead of taking my girlfriend. But without saying, oh yeah, I'll trade her in. I'll trade her in for a 10-day, without making her the object. He was like, how about me instead? Let's talk about me. Which can seem a little bit, I guess, narcissistic, but I don't think that's how he meant it. I think he was trying to deflect that energy.
Yeah, I think he's just having fun, He thought, what's the funny way to respond to this tweet? Mm-hmm. And that's what he came up with, and I think it was solid.
Yeah.
And then the latest news, I got a notification on my phone yesterday from Fox Sports, because I get those and also ESPN notifications because I'm a sports boy, was that Taylor is expected to attend the game tomorrow as we record this podcast, which is the Chiefs versus Jets game.
Are they playing in New York?
Well, technically in New Jersey, but yes, it's home game for the Jets.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes. MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
Versus Kansas City.
Yes.
So she wouldn't be flying back out to Kansas City. It'd be like a hometown game for her.
Just have to take a car out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess she could take the train, but she's not gonna do that.
Not gonna do that, no. Maybe she can take a private helicopter. That'd be cool.
Well, she rode the family bus from like the satellite point to the stadium for the Chiefs game. So.
All right, there you go. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure that the cameras will get a lot more shots of her.
Oh, they'll be looking for her.
So
They'll be looking for her.
we'll see how it goes. You have any other Travis Kelce stuff before we move on to our next news bulletin?
I don't think so. I think I said it all.
I think we took a good amount of time with it, so I'm good.
His 1989 jacket, though, that I mentioned, it's a set, but the jacket of the set sold out. And the jacket alone is like a ridiculous amount of money.
I bet.
And it completely sold out. I think it was called 1989, like, bedroom set or something like that. Doesn't matter.
On to our next piece of news. Eras Tour the movie. It had previously only been a domestic release, but it's now going to be international. Set to screen in theaters in over 100 countries around the world. So that's exciting.
We know she loves to drop international dates late.
Yep. There's also going to be a world premiere red carpet screening in Los Angeles on October 11th, 2 days before the general release.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Jason Blum, legendary horror producer. If you've watched a horror movie from now to Paranormal Activity, circa 2007, I think, you've seen a movie this dude has made. He said of his decision to postpone the new Exorcist, quote, "The one thing that scares me to death is Taylor Swift. We had this amazing Friday the 13th in October, which is the single best day to release a scary movie. Obviously, we moved off that date and we bowed our head to Taylor Swift. It was too risky to see if hashtag Extra Swift was going to take or not." He did. He tried to start Extra Swift, but it wasn't really popping. So
No, wasn't giving Barbenheimer.
that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
It didn't really go.
It
So.
was not giving Barbenheimer. No, that's really funny. I love that the horror producer is like, the only thing that scares me is Taylor Swift.
Right. Yep. He's fun.
Good. She should be scared. Be scared of her.
Yep. The first step to correcting your lack of dog is accepting that you have it. And that's what he did.
Mm-hmm. He was vocal about it.
Yep, I don't have that dog in me.
I didn't even think about the fact that, like, that is quality. You have a Friday the 13th. Any horror movie is going to... And it's in October.
In October.
Any horror movie is going to be, like, fighting to get that date. And then Taylor Swift comes in and is like, bitch, please.
Yeah, it was ideal. The only way it could have been better is if it was like, well, I was going to say on Halloween, but maybe that's too late.
Yeah, I think it is kind of too late.
You want to build up to
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so it was ideal, really. And that wouldn't be the 13th, because that's not how dates work, dumbass.
But honestly, Friday the 13th in October is the craziest
Good as it gets.
situation. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's my mom's birthday.
Yay! Swiftposium 2024 is coming. It is an academic conference that is going to be at the University of Melbourne in Australia, February 11th to February 13th, 2024. And according to their website, quote, Swiftposium is a hybrid academic conference for scholars to engage in critical dialogue about Swift's popularity and its profound implications for a range of issues including gender, fandom, popular culture, literature, the economy, the music industry, and more. The organizers have currently opened the email lines for paper submissions for the conference, and they've generated a list of 12 suggested paper themes, all of which are named after a Taylor Swift lyric. Here's one example that I liked. I can read you like a magazine, which is literary interpretations of Taylor Swift. I'd be interested to read papers on that. To anyone inclined to submit a paper, you've got until Halloween, so get it in.
I know that they are just waiting for me to submit my paper, but with the date for this in mind, I will be at least 1 week postpartum. So,
That's right.
guess I can't go. Oh, darn.
Yep. You were going to be the big star, the big name.
Oh, they were waiting for my paper submission. I was going to have the best one.
Indeed, of course.
They were going to have Kim of Cowboys Like Us podcast fame.
Yeah, but we weren't going to do it for free, so probably weren't going to have it anyway. We were in negotiations. Just kidding. Can you imagine? We could imagine. Swiftposium get-outs. I do have one more piece of news. According to Laura Wasner, attorney to the stars, she says that women are out here watching the Barbie movie and going to see Taylor and or Beyonce in concert, and that this is causing them to divorce their husbands. Taylor Swift out here destroying the American nuclear family. How dare she do it? But Wasser actually sees this as a positive thing because it's women realizing their own power and their value independently of their husbands, which is good.
Mm-hmm. So. I agree. I think it's a good thing. Mostly because if you, after watching the Barbie movie and seeing Taylor and or Beyonce in concert, can find a reason as to why you should divorce your husband, there are so many other reasons you should have divorced him or never married him to begin with. And good for you for leaving your husband.
Yeah. Who am I to say what is significant enough to trigger that in you? But like you say, I think the Barbie movie particularly is pretty feminism 101, and then Beyonce and Taylor are more just like general sort of girl power vibes.
Yeah. Barbie movie is baseline feminism. So like you,
yeah,
you are just seeing light.
You've been looking for a reason to get out, and I think that's good that you are getting it. So good enough.
Yeah. The key is to find a husband like be like me. And find a husband who you see the Barbie movie with, and you also have a Taylor Swift podcast with, and you both like Beyonce well enough.
Much respect.
And then you don't see any issues. You don't want to divorce him because he enjoys all of those things as well.
Indubitably. Yep. And just isn't a dick on purpose. That's my advice to all of you out there. Not just men, but women and everyone else as well. If you try your best to treat other people respectfully, make a good faith effort, you'll go a long way, bro. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Just don't be a dick on purpose.
I was gonna say, most of the time, if he's being a dick on purpose, it's for comedic value.
That's right. Yep. Even if you're a dick accidentally sometimes, and it's pointed out to you, and you take responsibility and apologize for it, all will be well.
Yep.
It's not hard.
So all you gotta do is take responsibility sometimes.
That's it. On to Chart Watch! On the Billboard Artist 100, Taylor stayed put at number 2 behind Olivia Rodrigo. On the Hot 100 Singles chart, Cruel Summer dropped 1 spot at number 6. Anti-Hero rose 5 spots to number 26. And Karma with Ice Spice dropped 2 spots to number 38. On the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart, Midnight stayed put at number 8. Lover went up 1 spot to number 11. Speak Now TV stayed at 13. Folklore stayed at 15. 1989 stayed at 18. Reputation dropped 3 spots to 23. Red Taylor's version dropped 1 spot to number 29. Evermore came up 1 spot to number 36. And Fearless Taylor's version dropped 5 spots to number 66. Debut continues to not be in the chart. But I did see an article that said Mary's song from Debut took a big jump this week, seemingly because of something to do with Kansas City or
one
something.
one line only, and it's because she says, I'll be 87, you'll be 89. And Travis's number is 87.
There it is.
And 89 is obviously a number that is relevant to both of them, because it's both the year that they were both born, is what I was trying to say. And obviously 1989 is the Taylor album.
There you go. So maybe that will propel Debut back into the chart next week. We'll see. This is now normally the point where we'd go to the clown corner, but as previously stated, not going today.
We'll just touch on some things. First of all, clownery. I am so in for this Kelsey Swift relationship. I'm so on board. Fully on board. I hope it's happening. I hope they're in game. I am just so happy. No matter what they're doing. If they're just hooking up and having fun and being a nuisance to the media, More power to them. I love them both so much. Clown Corner for this episode, there's not a whole lot to talk about other than things we've already said before. So, like, this song is about Dot, it's about Scooter, it's about Kim Ye, it's about all the people who have done her wrong. But, like, definitely mostly about Scooter. Scooter's wife divorced him. There's a whole section in this song that's kind of about helping someone divorce their husband. Everybody is like, oh, did Taylor have something to do with it? I don't think she did, but I think she was just kind of playing off of one of his low points, you know? Hitting him where it hurts. So anyway, that's as much Clown Corner as you're gonna get.
All right. With that said, let's get right into song facts. Vigilante Shit was originally released on Midnights back in 2022 as a standard album track. It was written by Taylor Swift and produced by Taylor and Jack Antonoff. It debuted at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and then probably dropped out, but it was certified platinum in Australia, gold in Canada, and silver in the United Kingdom. So some popularity internationally. What's Taylor said about this song?
Crickets.
That's right. Not a thing as of now. What about the critics? Do they enjoy it?
Clash said it was utterly irresistible.
Indeed.
Variety said lives up to its promising title, with Antonoff reducing the musical bed to its barest, suspenseful, deep bass minimum. The Guardian said the sound is minimal and unflappable, beat with thin slivers of bass and electronic tones sliding in and out of the mix, not too distant from something Billie Eilish might have devised on her debut album.
The Independent described it as noirish rap with classy sharp wordplay. New York Times said it was the high point of Midnights, funny, wry, and slightly perturbing. Vulture said hip-hop Taylor is back, this time without the sometimes grating aggression of Reputation.
Hell yeah.
Billboard called it the number 2 song on Midnights behind Anti-Hero and An Alluring Sucker Punch. Pitchfork said Swift's attempts at edginess come across as a costume. And Slate said it's self-satisfied and I could have done without it.
Boo.
And this review was by our certified Taylor Swift hater, Carl Wilson, who dragged Taylor all up and down in his Olivia Rodrigo review a couple weeks back. We see you, Carl, you raggedy motherfucker. We see you.
Well, just your opinion.
Nope. Stop letting Carl write for Taylor Swift things, Slate. You know
Stop
better.
letting Carl talk about Taylor.
Yep. Find somebody who is at least neutral. Let him do it. Fan reception. How do they feel?
Rob Sheffield, our boy, rating at number 88. He said, the hint of the sexual vigilante seducing her lover's wife adds a bit of spice, as does the idea of using cosmetics as a fatally glam murder weapon.
Indeed. R/Taylor Swift ranked Vigilante Shit 16th out of 20 tracks on their Midnight's Survivor game, ahead of only Paris, Glitch, Labyrinth, and Dear Reader. So, pretty low.
I think it's funny that it's ahead of Paris because y'all give me shit for not really liking that song. But I think that's too low for this song.
I like Paris. I like Glitch. Labyrinth and Dear Reader, I'm okay with being there.
I like Labyrinth.
I know.
No one likes Dear Reader.
Let's get into the lyrics, shall we? Verse number 1. Draw the cat eye sharp enough to kill a man.
Boom, boom, boom.
You did some bad things, but I'm the worst of them. Sometimes I wonder which one will be your last lie. They say looks can kill, and I might try. I don't dress for women, I don't dress for men. Lately I've been dressing for revenge. Starting off strong out the gate, the patriarchy is very concerned about women always being physically attractive and catering to the male gaze. Makeup is obviously a big part of that, and also just capitalist fuckery. But in this song, Taylor imagines it more like war paint. She's going to battle, gotta have her armor on.
That's what I was gonna say. Sometimes I agree that like the makeup market is ridiculous and just full of capitalism. And definitely started with the patriarchy, but I feel like women had kind of taken it back. And now it's just about like making yourself feel good, and
Certainly can be. Certainly.
it's an art.
It's all about the why.
Yeah.
Examine your choices. Why are you making them?
Yeah.
That's all.
Makeup is just fun.
Yep.
My personal opinion.
Indeed. Also, they say looks can kill, and I might try playing on the word looks. Usually that phrase means you look at someone with so much venom that it could kill them. But as the next lines show, Taylor is talking also about a look, as in an outfit. She is sexy and feminine, but also very sharp, very dangerous. Watch yourself.
She knows that she's so hot that she puts on an outfit, she walks out, everybody dies.
That's right. Being beautiful does not take away one's power. It can add to that power and level of dangerousness.
Definitely Taylor Swift.
Yep. On to the chorus. I don't start shit. I can tell you how it ends. Don't get sad. Get even. So on the weekends, I don't dress for friends. I've been dressing for revenge. Taylor is not the drama starter. She is the drama finisher. If you come at her, she will break you, which she has done to several people by now. Basically everybody. She's out here winning harder than anyone's ever won before in the world, perhaps.
Yeah.
So
I don't start shit, but I can tell you how it ends. It's one of the best lines she's ever written.
it is quality.
And yeah, of course she would have a line that also kind of mirrors a tiny little white cat from an animated movie that says, ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them.
What is that from?
Aristocats.
Yep. Taylor Swift.
Marie is like, ladies don't start fights, but they can finish them.
Vigilante shit directly inspired by Aristocats. You heard it here first.
You know? I wouldn't be surprised.
On to the second verse. She needed cold hard proof, so I gave her some. She had the envelope. Where you think she got it from? Now she gets the house, gets the kids, gets the pride. Picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife. This is where Taylor loses me personally with this song. Controversial. She gets too far down into the details to where it comes off stupid. I don't believe that Taylor is running around giving people envelopes full of secrets. And even if she is running around giving people secret envelopes, that's not badass. It's snitching. Don't snitch. We as a society have decided snitching is bad, and I will not let Taylor try to change that position. We're up here, don't ever snitch. Also, the phrase thick as thieves has always annoyed me, even before Taylor put it in one of her songs. I just don't like it. I don't know why. It bothers me.
That's fine. We all have phrases that we don't like. I have so many. But the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Naturally.
So if their marriage is already fallen apart, and I don't see it as snitching if you're already enemies, is what I'm getting at.
My quibble is not with Taylor's desire to take, presumably, Scooter in this verse down.
Okay. All right. Because I always imagined it as Scooter and his wife.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. Take him down, crush him under your heel, naturally. My quibble is not with the desire to do that, it's with the method. It's like, how can I, because I don't think this is literal. Right. So in my badass get 'em fantasy.
Right. Okay.
What do? I deliver a note of secrets.
You're saying it's not hard enough.
I don't think it's hard.
Yeah, we know it's not real, so it's not hard enough. She could have gone harder.
Yeah, talk about how you're gonna murder it.
That's what I was gonna say. You want her to literally give away her plan to murder him.
A little bit I do.
Okay, all right.
We'll come back to that
So
theme.
it's not hard enough for you.
Yeah, we'll come back to that theme. But first, let's move on to the bridge. Ladies always rise above. Ladies know what people want. Someone sweet and kind and fun. The lady simply had enough. And with the bridge, I'm back in for a minute.
Yeah.
Because we see reference again to the patriarchal idea of a lady and what a lady is. They're not a person, really, according to the patriarchy. They're sort of an object, ornamentation.
Like Mark Cuban thinks.
Yeah, to complement a man. But under patriarchy, they get put through hell, and it's no wonder some of them snap and have enough. I like the bridge. That's sort of a common theme. I like almost all of Taylor's bridges. She's very good at those.
Oh, yeah. Bridges are her thing, for sure. And this one especially, like, the musical aspect of it plays so hard into it because, like, it goes so, like, quiet, and it's mostly just her, and it builds, and then it, like, drops again.
Right.
It's really good. I like it.
On to the third verse. While he was doing lines, and crossing all of mine. Someone told his white-collar crimes to the FBI. And I don't dress for villains or for innocents. I'm on my vigilante shit again. If I am Taylor's creative writing teacher, I'm just putting a big old red X through this whole verse. Rewrite it, Taylor. The last line on its own in isolation is cool. I like on my vigilante shit. But everything else is straight ass. What the fuck, Taylor? Snitching is not, in any sense of the word, vigilante shit. It's quite the opposite. You are reporting crime to the proper authorities. You aren't taking the law into your own hands, which is what a vigilante does. Also, if I'm at the FBI and somebody calls me up and says they'd like to report some white-collar crimes committed by a man doing lines and crossing all of mine, I'd immediately hang up the phone violently on them. Shut the fuck up, nerd. No one's interested.
Okay. I get it. I get where you're coming from. I get it. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe vigilante was a strong word to use for this
If
song.
that's what you're gonna call vigilante shit. You could have wrote a song about doing actual vigilante shit, but you haven't done that.
Well, I think that the line while he was doing lines and crossing all of mine is kind of clever.
On its own again, yep.
Yeah. This verse in itself, like you said, I kind of want to pick lines from it and then get rid of other ones.
Yeah. There's good pieces, but they don't add up to a good whole.
I don't, this verse in particular, I think I would probably get rid of someone told his white collar crimes to the FBI because whatever.
Garbage line, yep.
And then I would keep while he was doing lines and crossing all of mine, and I would keep I don't dress for villains or for innocents together. And I'm on my vigilante shit again. But, they should have been in other verses and paired with other things.
Right. Yep. Just a big missed opportunity. That's all. Yeah. We'll get into it with our overall thoughts.
But I also feel like you, when you heard the track list, when you heard vigilante shit, you automatically had high hopes. You were like, that song... Anti-hero and vigilante shit, those are going to be such good songs. So I do feel like she let you down a little bit because your hopes were, sky high.
Indeed. Let's get into our overall thoughts. And I will go first because I think it's going to pivot right off of what we've been talking about. I think the question that you have to ask yourself about this song, is whether or not you believe deep down in your heart that Taylor is a badass vigilante out here delivering justice as if she were the goddamn Batman, or if you don't necessarily believe that, do you think that she has played one convincingly in this song? At times, I think she does, but on the whole, I think it falls pretty flat. If you hear this song and think it sounds badass, you probably like it a lot more than me, although I do think it was interesting as an idea. I wish it was executed better. And I do like Jack's production work on it a lot. I think it sounds really cool, just sonically.
As we're sitting here, normally I don't like to let your opinions influence my thoughts. But as you're talking, I guess you have some points. I really like this song. And, even though I agree with some of the things that you've said, I don't think it really changes that I like this song a lot. But I do think I'm realizing that I think a lot of the actual music of the song and the production of the song and the overall sound of it is what makes it feel badass to me and what makes it feel like what I can get behind for vigilante shit if you just sort of listen to it and don't read into the lyrics. But that's not what you're supposed to do, That's not the intent.
It's not what we're doing on this podcast, at least.
Yeah. So... yeah, I agree. She could have done a little bit better with lyrics, but I will also say that my opinion of this song changed drastically after watching it a million times on the Eras Tour live streams. And I think because you have not seen the performance of vigilante shit from the Eras Tour, I think that when we see the movie, your opinion will change a little bit.
Well, maybe.
Because I had a secondary sexual awakening.
All right. Yep. Well, we'll see. Let's get into ratings. For those who may be unaware, we rate every single song on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is very bad. 10 is very good. 5 is very mid. Kimberly, what rating do you give Vigilante shit?
I'm giving this sucker a 9.
Wow.
I'm giving it a 9.
All right.
I explained why I like it, okay? It's grown a lot since I've watched the Eras tour. If you haven't seen her performance, either look it up on YouTube or go see the movie, and then tell me you don't love this song after you see the choreography and the outfits and the chairs and the everything.
Well, this is going to be our first one where we differ strongly on, and I think we're going to have some similar discrepancies coming up soon. So the podcast is going to take an interesting turn in that way, whereas it's been a little bit too flat.
We can agree to disagree.
Indeed. I am going to give it a 4.
Wow.
Yep. It's not good, but it is a better song because of the production work than Nobody No Crime, which is a similar thematic song to me. And also, the reason that I dislike them is similar. I do not buy what Taylor's selling in either of them. I think it comes off mad corny, a la Russell Wilson. Taylor misses Unlimited Swift. I'm not buying it. Like, an obvious comparison is the Dixie Chicks' epic song, Goodbye Earl.
Sure.
And the reason that song works and neither of these two songs do work is because I believe Natalie Maines would stab somebody to death and then hide the body. And I don't think Taylor would do it. I do believe she might do some private investigative work, but I don't count that as a vigilante. So...
she should have renamed this song FBI Intern.
Yep. That would be more accurate. So, yeah, I give it a 4. Not good to me.
I still think it's a 9.
One of my least favorite songs on Midnights.
Do what?
One of my least favorite songs on Midnights.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Well, if you'd like to tell us who you agree with and why it's me, you can do that via...
I don't think you're in the majority here, my guy.
You could do that via our poll, which will be in the episode description of this episode on Spotify. And also, we will have polls up on Instagram, Threads, and X at
CBLU_podcast.
That's right. If you don't follow us there, why the hell not? You ought to. It's good. It's good. The Gremlin is always posting something fun up there. So, follow us and vote in our polls. What song are we talking about next week?
Cowboy Like Me.
That's right. From Evermore and the song that inspired the name of this podcast and our lovely artwork that Kimberly designed.
We had to, at some point, get to our whole podcast was based off of your feelings and my disdain for this song. So, like, we had to get to a point where we were opposite ends of songs. Yeah.
Yep. And I think this episode, this we're doing right now,
right.
Vigilante shit, is a good prelude to the fight that Cowboy Like Me is gonna be.
Oh, y'all ain't ready.
Cause
spoiler alert, I hate this song with my entire being.
Yep, and I was more or less ambivalent toward it until I started prep work for next week's episode, and now I think it might actually be really fucking good, so...
Y'all remember how passionate I got about change? Y'all just wait.
So, we'll see. Should be a fun time. Join us, won't you? But until then, do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and X at CBLU_podcast. Email us directly at cowboyslikeUspodcast@gmail.com. New episodes every Monday on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Y'all come back now, you hear?